We found McCrimmon is a convicted felon with more than a dozen arrests in the last decade.
I never, ever would have thought in a million years this man wasn't who he said he was.
This is the kitchen.
The pain is very, very real for these people, and it feels like nobody in charge even cares. I really wish that this wasn't a topic that needed to be discussed, but it is happening to so many people right now. Maybe it could happen to someone that you know, or maybe it could even happen to you. I'm talking about rental scams on Facebook. And honestly, it breaks my heart seeing so many people being taken advantage of for just simply trying to find a safe place to live. Imagine being someone who is looking for a place to live, so you're scrolling Facebook Marketplace. You just want to find something affordable. Imagine how desperate you already feel. So imagine what it feels like to find a listing that gives you a little bit of hope, just to have it ripped away by some scammer. And then Facebook just shrugs and moves on. It's not just money that people are losing. It's trust, security, and sometimes even the roof over their heads.
Dawn blames this woman, Farron McCrimmon, for wiping out her family's savings and crushing their hopes for a home.
I just know she walked to the door, she put the key in, she opened it, she gave me a walkthrough.
The single mom says McCrimmon provided a lease, deposit receipts, and a key to this Riverview home. Dawn handed over her life savings, all $2,100.
She left me with $11.90 to my name.
Dawn and her children loaded up everything they own into a U-Haul and arrived here at what was supposed to be their new house. Within minutes, they discovered the key they'd been given didn't unlock the front door.
I put the key in and it didn't turn at all.
It was horrific. I felt like I was going to throw up.
Michelle Law also found McCrimmon by word of mouth.
It was $850 deposit.
Both victims say the 31-year-old used the name Aaron Wilson on every document they signed.
And I walked through the whole property.
Michelle, who had lost her last apartment in a fire, was days away from moving into this Riverview home.
I didn't hear from her, so I texted her and the phone was disconnected. And that was, my stomach dropped.
We found McCrimmon is a convicted felon with more than a dozen arrests in the last decade. No one answered the door at her last known address. The sheriff's office is also looking for her now that an arrest warrant has been issued.
If I never see one penny of my money back, I don't want this to happen to anyone else.
So there are numerous ways that these Facebook rental scams are happening, but it mostly involves the scammer getting photographs off of places like realtor.com, apartments.com, anywhere that a house can be listed for sale. They're taking those photos and they're putting it on Facebook and Craigslist. Let's not leave Craigslist out of here. This is happening on Craigslist also. They're putting the photos, pretending like they're the landlord, and they are, in some cases, finding out passcodes so that people can get into the house to get a tour of it, or they're just taking expensive application fees or background check fees and never showing the property at all. There's lots of ways that these are happening. And the reason why I wanted to share some of these stories is so that you can prevent it from happening to you if you happen to be looking to rent somewhere in the future.
I never, ever would have thought in a million years this man wasn't who he said he was.
This is the kitchen right here.
Latasha Crosty takes us through her dream apartment that she spent 2 weeks furnishing, from the living room to the outdoors.
This is my patio furniture right here.
But then came a knock on the door from a woman who claimed Latasha didn't belong here.
She got a showing here at this apartment. I said, I live here. She said, no, there's nobody supposed to live here.
Turns out she gave a $1,000 deposit and another $1,000 for rent to a fake landlord who she found in a Facebook posting.
I gave him me and my kids money, thinking we got a home.
This is so unusual because typically a rental scammer will post a fake ad, then take a deposit for an apartment they don't really own. It's pretty much unheard of for them to give the tenant a key and say, go ahead, move in.
She was scared. I mean, they've just told her that her home isn't hers and she doesn't have anywhere to go.
Neighbor Kyla Moulton, along with legal aid, are now trying to help Latasha stay. We called and visited the property management company, Fortune Vine Realty, but could not find anyone to talk. Now, 1 week after we first met Latasha,
I went to the door Saturday, the 26th.
she found this notice to leave the premises taped to her door. Latasha now worries she could be evicted any moment.
I never ever would have thought in a million years this man wasn't who he said he was.
This story is absolutely wild because this fake landlord gave her keys to the property. How did this person get keys to the property? Was this property abandoned? Did they have the locks changed? This right here is not someone that was gullible. This is somebody who thought they were signing a real lease. They paid what they thought was their actual landlord $2,000 to move in, and they got the keys. How on earth could they have known that this landlord didn't actually own this property? This is not a gullible person. This was someone that thought that they were renting a house. It is crazy.
But the deal the Gray family thought they were getting to move in here turned out to be too good to be true.
I'm out of $2,700 now.
Antoine and his wife Shantae are heartbroken and angry after falling for what they say was a rental scam.
We put down our deposit, and then I put down the first month's rent, and then all of a sudden things went left field.
Antoine, a 14-year veteran of the Navy, recently got a new job that required him to move from Oklahoma to Colorado. He says he went on Automated Housing Referral Network, a popular website for military personnel, to help find a home here. That's when he saw this 4-bedroom home in Commerce City listed for only $1,500 a month.
When I looked at the price, I was like, oh, that's not a bad price. I could afford that per month and all.
They came out toward the place after the alleged landlord gave them the code to go inside.
Went in, saw the place, loved it.
After paying the first month's rent.
So they literally had the code to go inside and look. The landlord wasn't there, it sounds like, but they had the code to go in and look at the property. Where are the red flags here? I see no red flags. They thought that they were about ready to rent this piece of property from a landlord. The only red flag could potentially be the price. A lot of these fake rental scams give prices for properties that are too good to be true. So I guess a bit of advice would be, if you're looking to rent, know what the average rent should be. So if anything seems too good to be true, you know it probably is.
Rent of $1,500 and a $1,000 security deposit. The landlord then asked him to pay $700 for a locksmith on move-in day. That's when Antoine started noticing something was fishy.
There's the red flag. There it is. It's proudly waving its red flagginess. $700 for a locksmith? That fake landlord had it up until that moment. That was the point that they screwed over this deal. And I'm glad that they did, because that means that these people might have been able to prevent from being scammed.
Never in my life, I had to pay a locksmith when I'm renting a place.
Because he had already moved his wife and 3 kids here, he gave the man an additional $200.
Oh no, he saw the red flag and he still paid him $200?
But the landlord then said he'd found the family another home minutes away that would not require a locksmith fee. Turns out it was listed by an entirely different landlord and company.
When we called and we talked to the person's like, he doesn't work here. He's not the owner. No, that's all a fake. You just got scammed.
More than a week later, the Gray family is now living in hotels, out nearly $3,000 and defeated.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh God. So they lost all their money. They knew that they got scammed. They lost all their money, and now they're having to live in hotels. That is absolutely heartbreaking. The fact that they moved there thinking that they had a place to live and they lost $3,000 on a rental scammer. Dang, man.
Breaking that someone could actually do this.
We contacted the man claiming to be a landlord.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone.
He goes by the name Meza Fabio. Patrick Perez with Denver 7.
Hello.
A man of few words. And they claim that you've scammed them out of nearly $3,000. And he just hung up the phone.
This is cruel.
It is.
And it's not only cruel to me, it's cruel to my kids. It's cruel to my wife.
Antoine and Shantae now want to warn others as they continue looking for a home that fits their budget and needs. One that hopefully they'll be able to call their own soon.
And this story made the news in my own backyard. This incident happened in Wichita, which is not too far from where I am. These Facebook rental scams are happening everywhere.
Callers beware, criminals are using your home listings to scam others, especially when it comes to social media. Fact Finder 12 talked to a woman who paid to rent a home in Wichita. Turns out she never talked to the actual owner of the home. Investigator Haley Tucker finds it was a scammer who stole $1,500.
Some people use Facebook to find homes to rent.
We came across this lady on Facebook Marketplace, and she said, yeah, sure, I'll rent you the place.
Joanne Rivera moved to Wichita from Missouri with her boyfriend. They were living in a motel, searching for a place to call home.
Saved for we can have a place, so we can have a place to spend for the holidays.
She found this home on South Mosley listed on Facebook Marketplace. She called the person who listed it, got approved by who they thought was the owner, and paid $1,500 for first.
So I see on that listing it says $750 for 2 beds, 1 bath on Mosley Street. That's not a deal that's too good to be true. That sounds about right. So far, see no red flags.
Month's rent.
We said, okay, well, I need to get the keys and I need the receipts. And she's like, okay, well, I'll meet you at the house and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when we went to the house and we waited there, and I went and I knocked on the door, and Katie opened the door and told me, you know, kind of confusing. She had a confused look on her face like, no, I'm not moving out until Monday.
The owner, who Joanne thought she was talking to, never showed up. Instead, she was greeted by Katie, who was currently renting.
It feels crazy, like it feels like something you'd see on a TV show, a comedy or a drama.
Joanne and her boyfriend slept in their car that night, not knowing it was actually a scammer on Facebook who took their money.
Now she's not returning my calls. She's not giving me my refund back. She's not, nothing. It's like she stopped all contact with us.
Another red flag is the way Joanne paid.
We have PayPal, so we paid her with that, and she told us to send it to her on friends and family.
We called the person Joanne paid.
Can hear you, please. If you can test me.
Well, I'd like to talk to you. So I'm with Channel 12, KWCH. I'm our chief investigative reporter, and I've been working.
Hello, yeah, please call me back. I can't hear you. You can call me back since you want to talk to me.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, no, I can't.
And that's the last we heard from them. All it took was this scammer stealing an ad from a property management group actually listing the home to fake their own and steal money. The Wichita Police Department is now investigating and says this type of scam is one it sees often. If you're looking to rent, make sure you verify the person you're working with really owns the property. Try meeting with them face to face before paying them any money. Go through a third party like a bank to pay the person, and never pay someone you don't know through PayPal friends and family, because that money cannot be returned.
Yep, that's actually a warning to anyone who pays anybody over PayPal anything. If that person asks you to send the money via friends and family on PayPal and you don't actually know them, don't do it. Because PayPal does have protections in place so that if you do get scammed, you can file something to try to get your money back. But if you do friends and family, you're basically telling PayPal, I trust the person I'm sending money to, so if something goes wrong, they're not going to do anything. And so now, why exactly would somebody ask for friends and family? That makes sense. It's because it minimizes fees. If you send money via friends and family, there's no fee on the side of the recipient. But if you're doing business, the fee should be expected. More than anything, I think it's just frustrating to watch Facebook, a company with billions of dollars and cutting-edge technology, just standing by while all of this happens. People report these scams and they get silence or canned responses or no response at all. The pain is very, very real for these people, and it feels like nobody in charge even cares. We need more than just a report this post button and automated messages. We need real support and real change.
Wow, I am currently like halfway a victim of a new scam. So I wanted to come on here and let any property owners or tenants know that there's a scam going on. So I am a property owner, landlord. I have my house listed for rent right now on Zillow. Someone took my listing description and all of my pictures and posted it on realtor.com, rent.com, and redfin.com. So last night I got a call from someone and they were like, hey, I just want to confirm that your house is available for rent and the rent is $13.50 a month. And I was like, no, it's $2,200 a month. So I thought that was weird, but I kind of just let it go and didn't really think too much into it. And then this morning I got a text from a different number, same thing. They were like, hey, I just want to confirm that your property is $13.50 a month. If so, I'm interested. And they sent a screenshot of the listing on realtor.com. And so I was like, oh my God. So I looked at the listing. I was like, holy shit, they have all my information. But the number to call if you're like interested in the listing, it's a 225 Baton Rouge number, so it looks legit. You call it and then it's like, this number is not working or whatever. So it's not even my phone number, it's whoever the scammer number. I don't know, and this is the part that's weird, but you're able to like fill out an application for the property. And I guess the whole scam would be someone would put in their personal information, maybe even a deposit or a rent, and then like show up, and that's not a legit lease because it's not my listing. So anyway, I told the person that while I'm figuring this out and looking at the listings, I get a third tenant call me and say, hey, is your house available for $13.50 a month? And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get this figured out ASAP. So right now I'm in contact with the websites trying to get the listings taken down because they're fraudulent. I didn't authorize that.
So all of these people that are contacting her are actually doing their due diligence. Like they're reaching out and contacting. I don't know where the scammer screwed up their scam, but if the scammer was actually doing what the scammer was supposed to be doing, there would be no way for them to call the actual owner of the house and verify the rent amount. So I'm not exactly sure where the scammer dropped the ball here.
Okay, Kiki Scarberry with Our Town Realty, and we do property management. So we work for landlords and rent out their properties for them. And so we do a lot of posting on social media and things like that for our properties. So I've been contacted in the last week and a couple of times in the last month or two, and we have even had a client fall victim to scammers, particularly on Facebook, I'm talking about, that will take photos. And this is often not of places we have for rent. This is often houses that we have listed out of our office for sale. They'll take our photos and they'll say that they own the house and that they have it up for rent. And they will ask people to put down a down payment to hold the property for them, so that they don't rent it to someone else, but they can't quite show it to you right now, or they're going to be out of town for a couple days or whatnot. If someone is asking you to pay them money for a rental property and you've never seen it, then it's a scam.
That's the most predominant rental scam that I have seen in my research. It's not those really good fake landlords that have the keys, that have the codes so that you can get in and view the property. It's not those. It's the ones that are simply collecting a $50 application fee or a $100 payment in order to hold the property for them. You know, they might say something like, I have so many people interested. If you're really interested, you need to pay me $100 not to rent it to these people tomorrow. They might have some BS excuse why they can't show you the property. I'm out of town. I have this going on. I've already had people look at it that are ready to rent it today. So if you want a chance to rent it, You need to pay me money to not rent it to someone else while I'm gone. And then when I get back, I can show you the property and you can put in an application. Like, they're getting really, really smart about how to run the scam and make it sound believable. But just like with buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace, you never, ever, ever send money to somebody for nothing, for a promise, because chances are their word means nothing and they're just looking to scam you.
A woman looking to rent an apartment recently fell victim to a Facebook Marketplace scam. Wilkes-Barre City Police say the 25-year-old woman said that she gave $300 as well as the codes to several Apple gift cards to rent an apartment through Facebook Marketplace.
Never send gift cards as a form of rent or deposit. Why do people do that? Sending gift cards is the biggest red flag ever, and people still fall for it.
Just got scammed and I am fucking pissed. If any of the following happened to you when you're gonna go look at a property, literally don't even waste your time. So basically we went to go look at this house to rent. We got there and the guy called and he wasn't actually there. He wanted to like walk us through the property over the phone. First red flag. There's like these signs on the door. He was like, okay, you have to download this app so I can unlock it and I'll walk you through. My boyfriend points out that on the sign on the door, it says, this house is not for rent. And it was just kind of sketchy.
That goes to show that this is not the first time that someone has approached this house. If somebody put a sign that says this is not for rent, that means that these are not the first people that have come to the property to view it. And that sign is like a warning that says this is not actually for rent. That should have been the only red flag that they needed to see.
Like the dude on the phone had like a heavy accent too. I'm not gonna specify. We hang up. I hung up the phone because he like pointed out and he was like, hang up. And I was like, okay, I hung up. And at that point I'm like disappointed. I'm like, all right, let's just get out of here. But the dude calls back. He's like, dude, like, is this a scam? Like there's a sign on the door that says this isn't for rent, like report scams here. He's like, no, it's not a scam. The house was previously for sale and now it's just for rent. So that's why the sign is there, because before it was for sale. He
Red
unlocks
flag,
the door.
red flag, red flag.
So we're like, okay, like maybe like nothing fishy is actually going on. Like, let's just look. And we go inside. It was really nice. Like,
it was really nice. They went inside.
I'm in an apartment right now, so it had a garage, it had its own laundry room. Too good to be true, apparently. It's like being kind of pushy about it, which was like kind of sus. And something else, like now that I'm thinking about it, he like hung up the phone without making sure that we properly locked the door. When we pulled the door shut, it was not locking. There was like a check mark on this little box. I don't even know. He pushed it. It locked. We checked it. It was good to go. So if it is a scam and we walked into some random person's house, no worries. No one's going to be able to get in. Yeah, it sucks because it's like a really nice place. Even if you're...
Yeah, it was a scam. It was a scam.
So these are the things that I warn you all about. So I'm on Facebook Marketplace. This property says that it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $1,000.
No way.
Donna, everybody that knows the area knows that that's not possible unless it is a room for rent. But this is the whole house. One of the things you should always do is check Realtor.com. Now you see this house rents for $17.45 a month. And if you scroll all the way down on Realtor.com, you're going to see who the real estate agent or the company is. See, that says Main Street Renewal. So then when you go to MS Renewal, which is Main Street Renewal's website, you see this property, 510 Rose Hill. This property is $1,745 per month. So somebody is going to fall for this. Anytime you find a rental property, the tax assessor's website is free, or go to Realtor.com and see if that property is listed for rent so you don't get scammed.
Also, something that I wanted to add, if you are being rushed, that could also be a red flag. If someone is trying to rush you to send them money before they've shown you the property, before they've met up with you, that is also a red flag. These scams are getting very, very sophisticated and very difficult to spot. So always be skeptical. Have you ever been through something like this? Any sort of scam on Facebook? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like and appreciate videos like this, remember to hit the thumbs up before you leave. While you're down there, also subscribe, ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post my next video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.